Sorry, I think it cut off. It's not supposed to be that loud here. It's usually a very quiet spot, but it's just gotten loud all of a sudden. There's loud people talking. So, anyways, what I was saying is, I told him, I was like, I want to work in the area that I live, because he's like I don't want to say PR, but helping me, and I'm like, I want to start there, and you can work your way out, right? And he was like looking at me like I'm being picky, and I'm like, I want stuff that's what do you call it? Sustainable, right? I want to know that if I have certain issue or mobility issue or something, I'm not going or walking far or going super far. So you start with your area. My advice is, if you're working, you start with your area, surrounding area. If I'm in a popular area, there should be lots of work. Start with my area, and if I can't find anything in my area, then I go further and further out, right? Mushroom out. So I was telling him that, and I was saying, let's narrow it down, because I want to stay focused. So I'm like, okay, this is the type of job. Let's start with this. This is my experience. This is the type of job. Because I'm like, okay, even if I work this type of job, not only, like, I want to be more strategic, in what I do. So I want to be able to deal with, but you can't even tell people your strategy, because they look at you like, and again, when you're in a situation where you're like poor or low income, everybody looks at you with this like, how dare you want to change your status? And I've come to the conclusion, they don't want you to change. They don't want you to change from being, half of the time you see people, you're like, oh, why are they homeless? Why are they this and that? A lot of the people that work in the homeless facilities and the thing is, if you all improve your life, get off drugs, or get better, or take your medication, or get healthier. I'm just giving the main reason people are homeless is usually drugs, mental health, and finances, right? Somebody's poor, they get kicked out, either their credit's not great or whatever, right? But I really, really seen it. Like, they want to, if you stay high, they can steal your medication and sell it. I was in a situation where, so basically, if there's people that's on drugs, you're not focused, you don't even know what's going on. They can just say, oh, well, you didn't leave that here. So what happened is, they're so used to dealing with that people. So when there's people like me that's sober, and they try to lie to me, I look at them like, what the hell are you talking about? I left it here. All of a sudden, your stuff is missing. And like, these are like insulin and stuff that I need. Like, so if that goes missing, like, and you have no money, you have to come up. Like, I paid $300 one time for, like, I think it was a month or so more worth of insulin, and I'm like, holy cow! Like, you can't just. So that's not great. But the point is, you cannot even talk to people these days if you have, because they're seeing it. Like, one time I was in a low income situation, and I was trying to go back to school, and the guy's like, go back to school, you're 40. By the time you're done, you'll be 44 or 50. And I cannot believe I listened to this guy. This guy literally, no, actually, I didn't totally listen, but I kind of did. This guy tried to talk me out of going back to school. I think I was on some kind of low income situation. I'm like, why wouldn't you do everything you can? Because they're seeing you as a competition to themselves. The way he was talking to me, he wasn't like, oh yes, I'm so glad you're like, because I used to think, oh my God, if I let them know that I'm so motivated, they'll be so happy for me. No, they are not happy for you. So at the end of the day, my point is, just be careful who you tell your dreams to and your plans. And I feel like some people, they're like dream killers. They can look at you and see, I don't know if it's in your eyes or what, that you can do great things to Christ, but you can do great things. And I feel like they see that in you, and then they're like, oh, this person is gonna do good if we like give them any kind of, if I don't sabotage them or give them kind of any positive reinforcement. So I find that you just have to move one in silence, and you just have to be really, like, today I had an appointment, and he's like, oh, you didn't respond to me. Well, I never miss an appointment. Like, I maybe missed one. So why wouldn't you either double check? He says he didn't get a confirmation that I was coming. Well, you've never gotten a confirmation the whole time I've been seeing you about stuff. What is different now? So I noticed since I told him like what I wanted and I wanted greater things for myself because I don't want to be in this position anymore or constantly, right? So since I've told him that, he's been moving really shady and weird. And I notice people always want to tell you who you should be. So for example, they'd be like, oh, no, you should, I can see, and how people see you and how you see yourself. Good and bad sometimes. Sometimes people see you in a great light and you're not quite there and they have elevated expectation for you. And sometimes they have such low expectation because they just look at you and your circumstance and they're like, oh, she'd just take anything, or she'd be lucky to have anything, right? And I'm just like, no, ladies, and gents, try your best to keep your what do you call it, ambition and your goals still high. Like, it doesn't cost anything to dream. So anyways, the reason I was talking about this today is just like, it's so crazy. I don't know. I've never seen so many people that seems, and it's not even delusion of grandeur because I don't even tell them how big my dreams are, right? It's just not, just always want to encourage me to sit down. It's like how they do when they encourage black women to take broke man and, oh, just be lucky you have a man. Even if he beats you and cheats on you, just be lucky. And I'm just like, I feel that people keep doing that to me. I remember somebody in my family told me, why do I want to go to school, college? I should just become a waitress. And I still up to this day be like, who says that to somebody? Everyone seems to have low expectation for me. And I'm not sure why, because I don't give that energy off. And when I was in school, I was like, one point I was in school and I was having, and it's just weird, I was having like 90 averages on stuff, and then I would go home and show my dad and he would not care. You know how parents would be like, oh, that's very good, daughter, that's very good, keep going. It's like, it's almost like a competition, like, well, I did okay in school too, or nothing, right? And I know that a lot of immigrant parents are busy, so they don't pay attention because they're busy with their own life. But support your kids and encourage them to reach for the stars. Like, it's crazy. Like, why would you discourage somebody from doing anything above the norm or even basic? And the thing is, I don't know. Everybody's built different, and I think something is put in some of us. Some people are just meant to be basic, and some people just like, sit down. Why do you want to do this? It's like, why do you want to sit in the front of the line? Like, it's crazy how many people project to tell you. I have this friend. Most people would like not talk to them, but literally, if I drop everybody that I know, like which I have mostly, I would have nobody, because I don't know if it's subconscious or what. Why am I attracting these people? Because to me, I'm like, oh, they want to be my friends. I should talk to them. I shouldn't be biased or prejudiced towards people. And they're always like, oh, well, just get a minimum wage. They always want to downplay me or make me just do mediocre things. And they always seem to be like, oh, what do you want to do this? Oh, that's too much. And I'm just like, you know what? I think I've been listening to people. I really think I have. So as of today, everything people say, I'm just going to smile and nod. And one thing I learned from that is to learn to move in silence, no matter who. Like, I find I was talking one time to a psychologist. Yes, I try to get psychological help and try to get help in every capacity. If I have a headache, I go see a doctor. If I have emotional stress, I try to see a therapist somehow. And there's ways, guys, like, don't worry about the cost. Find a way to get help. And I was telling her that this happened to me and that happened, and she's like, that's never happened to me. And I'm thinking, let me get this straight. Are you a therapist or you're a company? And that's my experience with people. Everyone seemed to want to compete with me in some way, some capacity. I don't know what it is about me. I just find that people that are even in position of power, like way, supposedly way above me, way above my income bracket, everything, they're always like, it's always like, how dare you? They don't want to see me succeed. When I post this anywhere I do, tell me guys what your experience has been like. Have you had this experience where people seem to, you have so much less than them, but they compete with you on such a serious level, or they're like, oh, that's never happened to me. How come you're getting this and I've never gotten that? It's literally like, I used to get free coffee, and I used to like, I'll walk somewhere and people just let me in somewhere. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm tall, and I want to focus on those good things that happen for me. But people would question other people being kind to me, and they'll be irritated. Like, I remember I was with a family member, and I was out, and people were just coming up to me, talking to me, and smile. And that person was really silent. Now I think about it, I'm thinking that person probably has some mental issue. And then he was acting weird. You would think the way this person was acting, I was an enemy and I did something to him. Just because he was watching people respond to me a certain way. So anyways, we're going to talk about that. But today I'm going to leave off by saying, move in silence, stay organized, stay consistent, and do your best.